Okay, cool. We can do this when I put a rope in. We can just pull it right here.
I can make them all fall down.
But like this one's leaning that way. I'm gonna put a little rope up there and we'll pull it right here.
Cool.
Let Nathan pull it over. We're gonna cut this tree right here. It kind of leans this way, but it's got a big bend and it kind of leans towards the rabbits. Do you want to move the rabbit?
Sure.
Do we want to move them just in case? What I usually do on like stuff like this, if it's obstacles around, 99% of the time I'm gonna put a rope in it. You probably know what I'm talking about. You probably you've worked with a utility before, you know. So we can control the direction of the tree. And what I use is a 70-degree notch. I don't know if any of y'all know what I'm talking about. There's an open face notch. A lot of people, they used to do a 45-degree notch. The 70-degree is open, opens up you got more, it's more like 70 to 90 degrees, so that leaves the notch more open. So when it falls, it don't jump off the stump before the hinge breaks. Like a 45, what they used to do, they would cut it and it would get about right here, then it'd kick off the stump.
What does like Wrangler Star do? That's all my chainsawing knowledge is from watching his videos.
That is a reverse Humboldt notch.
Okay.
And I believe the reason why they use that a lot in the Northwest is because they're falling downhill.
Okay.
Because when you cut it upside down, you're coming in right here and you're doing your face cut underneath. When the tree comes over, it pushes and it pushes off the stump. We don't do that here. I mean, I've used it before, but it's not practical to what I do. You know what I mean? You know, now most all the trees I cut with a 70, and I bore cut. Then so I can put a little tension on it.
Sounds like your way's safe.
It's pretty safe. It's what it does is it presets what they call a hinge wood. So when you're cutting a tree, you got the notch in there, and you want to leave a 10% hinge on whatever the size of the tree is. So if you got a big tree, you want to leave 10% of the diameter of that tree.
Okay.
So I believe your notch is 15%. It's been a while since I've done the math on it or thought about it, but what I do is I'll go in, like if I'm falling in the woods, like if I'm out logging or something like that, I do a 70-degree notch and I bore cut. Then on the back of the tree, you leave a hinge on the back. So because the tree's set, you put your wedges in, you knock them in, then the tree's set. And what it does, when you cut the back out of it, it gives you an extra, even maybe 2 seconds. When logging, when you're falling trees through a heavy debris, a second or two is a long time. It's a long time to get away. You want 45. Anytime you're falling, you want to have a 45-degree to your left or to your right. 45-degree escape route. You always want to have an escape route.
Guys panic and they run directly underneath the tree.
Yeah, they go the wrong, or because if the tree goes the wrong way, but you always want to have a 45-degree. If you're cutting and following the tree this way, and you want to have a 45-degree this way, or you want to have a 45-degree this way, away from the tree. And if you got vines or anything like that around you, cut them. Mulch down, whatever, cut them down, get them out of the way. Anything that's going to be in your way. Because you don't want to be, oh shit, I need to go this way because the tree ain't doing what I want it to do, and then you catch your foot on a vine or something, you're down. And stuff like that. Just try to be a safe, you can do all the things right, and it's always going to be something. It's very dangerous. But I'm gonna get this rope in this tree, and then I'll show you the notch, and then I'll have him pull it over. But I won't. When we get ready to drop it, y'all gonna have to stand there by that fence line because it's gonna have some debris come out. It's dead, so it's gonna crumble when it hits the ground.
You better be right in there, Brandel.
I'm gonna be.
We better catch all that shrapnel.
You want me to show you one?
Sure.
I'm gonna throw one to. We can.
I just push it with a skid steer the direction.
They work good too. If it gets up there, I don't get where I want it, and I need to pull it back down. It'll come undone. I can pull it back out and start over. But usually it don't. If you're not throwing very far, you don't take a whole lot.
Remington makes a line launcher.
I got one.
It's a shot. It's 8.7. Or no, for real though, they make it for launching lines, ship to ship.
Yeah, you can get. I got a throw line over there.
That big ass slingshot.
That slingshot, big shot. I can shoot over 100 foot in the air. We'll look at it in a little bit.
Will it launch Coke cans?
Launch eggs. That's what I was taught to shoot eggs out of it. When I was learning how to use one, he said when you break the eggs, you're not doing it right. Y'all, I'll show y'all again.
Cody had one. Walk the back line inside.
The reason why I want to show y'all this because it's something, you know, not everybody don't have a throw line. If you want to just toss a rope up there and get it in there. Sometimes like it didn't come, when it come loose, it wasn't low enough and I couldn't get the flip down.
What's that rope cost?
This one, about $150.
Where would you buy it?
Treestuff.com, SherylTree.com, Bartlett, Bailey's. This is actually a climbing line here. They used it. It was one of the guys that used it for roping out something. So it's not used. I don't use it for life support anymore because it's been compromised.
I stopped using mine when they snapped in half.
Right.
When they're too stiff to single line rappel with, we're done with them.
I'm gonna do a baseline tie. And usually a lot of people do I don't know if y'all know what a rolling bowling is. Some of you might know. If I do a running bowling, do a baseline tie. Usually if you get it over a limb up there that's going up or through the fork, you can just baseline tie it so you can have running bowling all the way up to the top of the tree and tie it at the top. All right, Nathan. We're gonna go straight out this way.
That's cool. What I want to do is I want y'all to come up here on the sidewalk and wild knowledge. Then when we get ready to haul the tree, we'll move, everybody move right down here, but y'all want to come up here and hold within 15 foot, you know, safe distance. So y'all can see what I do. Anybody know what this is?
It's a chainsaw wrench.
Known as?
Sprint wrench.
Alright, a scrinch.
Sprint. You paint it orange?
I'll buy it like that. They're easy to find.
You find it in the
Unless
woods.
you're cutting line.
Do you not attach them to all your saws with that rubber thing?
I don't have one. Probably handy. I like to have this whole. I want it.
I get it.
You know, whatever. Me and Chuck talk about some stuff. We'll,
Yeah, put tourniquets on them.
Yep. How tight do y'all tighten this chain? Does anybody have an idea what they do?
Tight until it runs.
Tight as I can get it, because it's going to come loose.
Is that tight enough for you?
No, I'll go a little more.
Alright. What I usually do, let me get this side on it. Going downhill, but it'll be alright. And usually you don't want to over tighten. Once you over tighten these, you got to over tighten them every time. Or usually somebody over tightens them, and eventually the studs will come out. It'll pull the whole stud out. What I usually do, me personally, is I'll pull up on that bar like that. Just get a little. You want to have a little play. See how you can get the drag links underneath. You can get daylight through them. Right there.
Because when you tighten this up, it's going to tighten up just a little more. You don't want to over tighten because what it'll do,
What's
it'll
the
wear
point
your,
of picking up the bar like that?
it pulls the slack out of the bar. But it'll, you get it up, get the tip up, and it'll just makes it. It just makes it more accurate to me on what we're doing. Why do you not want to over tighten your bar, your chain?
Spin.
Well, no, that's not the only reason. What'll happen?
Stretch it too much.
It'll stretch your chain,
Burns the bearing out of the tip of the bar.
burn the sprocket out of the bar, split the tips. Where your mess your clutch up, but it'll wear your drive sprocket out faster too. Smoke your chain, smoke the bar. A lot of reasons.
Pull the bearings out of the crankcase.
They can.
I've seen them do that.
I imagine y'all seen a lot more stuff than I have on
372 XP, they used to do that with a longer bar. If you got a real long bar and that chain got too much tension on it,
Right.
you leak the bearings up. Where
Is
the
that-
housing at?
Will that bar go on either way?
Yes.
That's right.
Yep. So when you're maintaining your bar on these saws, you can you dress the bars up because they'll get burrs on the sides of them. You dress them up with a flat file, clean them up. Because sometimes you thinking your saw is not sharp, and it won't cut, or it's cut crooked. And it's not the chain. You can put a brand new chain on it, still cut crooked, or it won't cut at all. But because the bar, sitting on them, it's got that track where the chain runs on top with it. You tighten it up, eventually it's gonna flare out where the chain rides, and you have to take a flat file and get all that off, clean it up, get it back, get it home back in, and on the tip it'll flare out, and it won't cut, or it'll cut to one side. So just if a saw is cutting crooked, either way, it's not always the chain that's bad. It could be the bar, or you could just file to one side of the chain too much too. But it's not always the chain. It could be the bar need to be touched up, or you just might need a whole new bar because it's just wore slap out. Who wants to learn who wants to watch us? Who wants to learn how to notch a tree down? Y'all ready? We know it's going, but I'm going to notch it, and what I'm probably going to do is notch it a little bit to the left, just so we can. But usually when you're looking at it like this, you want to look down this sight right here, and where you want to drop it. You want to line that up with where you're going to drop the tree. When you do your down cut, and you want to usually at a 70-degree angle, you're going to hold it about right here. You want to stand right here, and just line it up where you want it. Whether you want to go a little more this way or that way.
You use your knee.
You don't have to use your knee. And then you don't want you just want to be able to just let it go. You just saw when you start sawing, just let it go down. Go with it, hold it steady. Just let it go down. And then when you get done with your down cut, you're gonna come in here like this. And you're gonna look down the down cut and line up so you can see so you don't have what you call an over bite. Because you don't want to cut past your apex. So, because you want that to stay intact right here. You don't want to cut past it.
Okay.
Because if you go past it, you're gonna have less hinge wood for steering the tree this way. And when I cut it, you'll see what I'm talking about. When I cut it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll show you that. The hinge wood and the.
I like the fact that he's telling me I've been doing it 100% wrong.
Wait till you see the hydraulic chainsaw attached to the Unimog he's got.
What?
Oh yeah, I do have a hydraulic chainsaw.
You do?
I don't use it. The fucking thing's scary as all to get up.
You get hot?
It scares the hell out of me because there's no real guard on it. It's from the 80s.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Oh man.
It is three-wheeler.
How many of y'all use safety cans?
Nah, I thought, yeah, that's cool.
You use these?
Got a bunch.
They're how cheap are they?
They're not.
How much do y'all think that can right there costs?
$100.
No, it's more than that.
$200 maybe?
Yeah, I paid $150 something for that can, and they used to be $100. Everything went up, but
Everything's at 40%.
yes, $150. But we're required to use that can on our truck. We have to use those, a safety can.
That nozzle works too. Like when you have the nozzles on those Euro cans, it doesn't bend enough to go from here to something small.
Well, that's why
on
I got
the
that,
ground.
because the other ones they used to get a yellow funnel. It shoves on there, and
Well, you can get new gaskets for it. Those you can make those work, but that nozzle that's on there, when you force that, it will crack and fuel will go everywhere. You're
Right.
better off with a jiggler siphon.
right. All right, guys, we're gonna crank this saw up. Now on the steel, we got that's all. That's run. You got to pull your throttle back, and you got all the way to full choke. That's full choke all the way down. Can y'all see that's full choke? Right? And this is the way I usually start a saw. This is the way I do it. You can put it on the ground and do it, but I always just leg lock it like this. Make sure your chain brake's on. So you've got 2 or 3 pulls, you should get a pre-run.
Once you have this started and start making some wood chips, I'm going to put this camera in there and then I'll get out of your way.
All right. Then you go to half choke. Now you can look at it. Y'all come up here and look at the notch, see what I'm talking about.
I've been doing that wrong.
Actually, I'm a little off to the right. Actually, I'm gonna dress. You can, if you're off one way or the other, you can dress it back up and line it back and kind of fix it a little bit.
So when you're holding the chainsaw, you're looking down the sight,
Exactly.
and then you drop it right down there.
See like that. Now look at it.
Yeah.
See right there.
Okay.
Now you see the sight. I'm a little to the right.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in and kind of take a little bit off the left side and kind of line it up a little better.
And then you just let the saw drop straight in.
Yeah, I'm not forcing it.
Going halfway through. Okay.
The saw actually is a little dull.
So that is the proper depth. I mean, that's as deep as you need to do as far as.
Well, you can do. You don't have to go that far.
So you can even go more shallow.
We're over here saying ours are 3-4 times bigger than that.
I've been doing it way wrong.
Right. All right. Now this is just a set, what I call a 70 or 90 degree open face. It's not open face, so you can take this right here and come under and take it out a little more, and that'll give it a little more open face, so it's got more travel to fall.
Okay.
And you were saying guys on the West Coast do it the other way. They go from the bottom.
Yeah, they go from this way,
and then go up.
then they go this way.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're on a slope.
That's, from my understanding, that's right.
You're also worried about the kickback of the tree. That's the other
Exactly. That's why they you know.
So on a slope, you do it all.
Right. A lot of people, they like to cut about 1 inch above their notch to keep from.
Way wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean, the one time I cut tree, I mean that notch like
Yeah.
halfway into the tree.
Right. A lot of people are doing. I mean,
Yeah. I'm
on the
probably
bigger
like
trees, you're probably gonna make a bigger knot.
Okay.
But this tree ain't that big.
Because the way I was,
Went out and did all the work.
of course, the
He's like,
YouTube
"Here,
videos
let's
are
start this gas off."
hit or miss, but basically, it showed me making the notch and then coming in from the backside and like cutting, making the hinge cut right into that angle cut there.
Right. So usually what I do, if this ain't a big tree, I don't really have to do that, is I'll go in right here behind the notch,
Okay.
and I'll bore cut it. Right?
Okay.
But see, that, you know, y'all think this tree's all dead, but see right here in the center, you see that it's still got a little bit of wood there. It's not completely dead. I mean, it's dying. It looks like crap,
That means I got, when I cut that notch, that means I still got a little bit of holding wood I can work with.
Okay.
You can see it. You see out here where it's all doty? But right in the center, you still got some wood there
Okay,
for
yeah.
your hand.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Looks like the termites got into it a little bit. Or something.
The beetles or whatever, I don't know what got into this tree. Right now you got termites all over. So.
The red one does too.
Let's see, my notch is a little to the right, which it ain't gonna matter. We moved the thing, but I'll dress it up a little bit and go more to the left.
There's termites in it.
It's all, yeah, it's that beetle. Whatever. It's not, but you look at the center. You can look at the center right here. So I still got a little bit of meat there. It's not completely.
Now your next cut, are you going to follow it on the next cut?
I'm gonna straighten my notch a little bit. I'm gonna pull it to the left a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna,
Before you follow it, let me put this joint on.
And you can swing that while you're cutting it too, right?
What?
The angle of the fall.
Yes.
Yeah, you get on this branch if you want it to fall this way.
Right. No, but you can like but if I want to go straight here and I got my notches straight up, straight there, you want to keep an even back cut. And you do people call what a lot of old timers when they were logging, so they do what they call a swing cut. They go in there and barely notch it, just a little notch, and if they want the tree to go this way, the tree's leaning like this, so they want it to go over here. They'd start over here, come around, and cut that whole side out. It's outlawed now, but if you're in professional tree logging, and they would.
In the chainsaw game.
Why is it outlawed? Was it
Because it's dangerous. For one, you can't get away. You got to stay in there with the tree.
right?
You're in there the whole time.
Gotcha.
You're just in there with it, and you're cutting all the way round, and then it gets over here, and then you're like, it's starting to go. Then it's whatever. Then you're wanting to pull it so hard to this side or that side, whatever side you're cutting on. You're there. Then when it starts going, you got to run. You ain't got no time.
So you don't always run when you cut down a tree?
Yell
No,
timber.
I usually just walk away.
Be a clue.
As soon as I hear it crack once, I'm like, ah!
I've seen the videos where they go backwards. Do you yell timber?
No.
Never? Never once. You've never yelled timber.
I've never yelled timber. No, I'll holler, get
I've
the
yelled
hell
5
out
or
of the
6
way.
You do it for the Instagram shot?
Move, run, whatever.
And that brings a point though. Never cut timber on a windy day. There's actually a song about that. So if you see the tops of the trees, none of this works because it's going to do what the fuck ever it
Don't
wants.
spray Roundup on a windy day either.
Or build brush fires either.
Piss in the wind.
But we're gonna do this one with a rope pail. I think we can get this one with we're gonna use a wedge on some of these. So we'll do both. All right, I'm gonna straighten this notch up, and we're gonna pull it this way and fell this tree.
All right, let's see the tree fall.
All right, guys, and come and look at this notch. And when you tie your rope in like this, so you can just get in there and
Pull it right off, yeah.
yeah, and pull it out. Pull it right off the top.
a little crooked, but dead. The saw cutting a little crooked.
Straight into the.
Right. Well, I did cut it a
cut.
little bit this way because my notch was a little off.
Right.
So I did leave a little more wood on from here over, so it would pull more that way.
Okay.
So you adjust.
I just, it's not something you're gonna learn just like right now.
Yeah.
Why not?
This is a stepping stone. We're just, you know.
So when you adjusted, you kicked the saw around.
I come around and cut a little more off the right hand side.
Okay.
I know. Even though I fixed my notch a little bit, I wanted it I kind of pull it more to the left a little bit. We still got a good bit of hinge all the way across.
Yeah. I do everything wrong.
I did probably 15 trees with that reciprocating saw.
Is it a lot easier, you think, that way? The notch?
Yeah, the notch. And I've been notching trees like almost halfway.
Yeah, that's the way I was doing. Yeah,
I've
I
been
was
putting
doing
a
a way
serious notch in it.
deeper.
I wasn't doing a little notch like that.
And I was doing it a much.
Well, it gives you more control of the tree. 'Cause this is what steers the tree. If you ain't got this, if it's not leaning that
I
way,
told you I put a big notch in it,
yeah, and cut it.
and then I back cut it and run like a
my notch like
motherfucker
here.
as soon as I hear it go click.
No,
I know now.
You don't even have to do it that far as big as I did. You can do one that same style
I
knot
bet I do mine.
and just do it in it.
I've done mine twice as deep as what this works.
I look at the top.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But the rope's way better.
Right. The rope is what, because if you got structure like that rope, that rope's little. It's only a half 13 or 11 millimeter,
Right.
but it's rated at 6,000 pounds. That rope. That big rope in that bag over here is rated. It's a 5/8. It's rated at 15,000 pounds. Breaking.
And you're just using the rope to help guide it down.
You're using that to just in case.
Yeah, okay.
Better pulling tension as you start your cut, and then
Right,
it just
like
kind of
if you're on
naturally
your-
starts
yeah.
pulling that wire.
If you're on your property and you ain't got nothing around, it don't matter where the tree goes, just cut it wherever the tree wants to go.
Right.
So this tree was wanting to go right there on the dog pen.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, it had a little lean this way, but it had a big bow going this way. And it would have, we could, with it being a living green tree, I could have wedged it and went this way, but it's dead. So we put the rope in it to give it a controlled fall.
You could just do that. If you're by yourself, you could do that. Like come along.
Yeah, I'll show you a come along. We'll do one. We'll show it come along. You can do a 2-to-1
Right.
without even having to have with just
Or
that
without
one
even
rope.
come along. Yeah.
How
With
tall
that
should your
rope.
stumps be? Kneecap, waist? Is there a
However high you want to do it. I usually cut them at the ground. If I'm in somebody's yard, because I don't want to have to deal with just one cut and then it's flush.
But if we're gonna pull them out with an excavator or something,
Yeah, leave them at least. I'd go probably if you're gonna do it with an excavator, I would have left it probably about right here. But waist high is fine. But it's so rotted, you're probably gonna have to figure a deal, I guess.
You said you fall it from the ground, or you fall it like that and then cut it off at the ground?
Depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm in the woods, like if you want to harvest trees, you kind of want to get pretty close to the ground. Right where the flares start.
Okay.
Because you want to get as much money out of that tree or as much lumber. If you're gonna saw it up, you want to get as much as you can out of it. You're gonna lose. That's 2 foot, almost 2 foot right there.
That makes sense.
You're losing. And that's why you'd want to do a little bit smaller notch or whatever, so you're not cutting. And I'm pretty sure the reverse Humboldt notch, that's upside down, that's a lot to do with pushing off the stump, but it's also saving your log. But they just don't use it around here because we're cutting so low anyway in the woods. Did when I was in the log woods helping and falling a lot. I cut probably that low to the ground.
Makes sense.
But when I'm in somebody's yard and I don't want to deal with cutting, you cut the tree down and you got this big stump, I might just cut it as low as you can the first time. All you're dealing with is a log. You ain't got it's less work. It's, the way I see it, it's just less work, less cutting. One less cut I have to do whenever I cut.
Can you do it with an
cut
axe?
the tree down, huh?
Can you do it with an axe?
Can I?
Yeah. I'll go get one.
I haven't. I mean, I probably could.
Have you axed a tree down lately?
Yeah,
I think Mike said he could.
we did one a couple months ago.
I have my daughter.
You wanna see the
go
girls do
maple.
it?
She's like, and I said, you imagine the whole entire
Amanda will do
United
it.
States was built that way, man. That's like,
Chop a tree down with an axe.
that is some work.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
you just think the whole entire United States was built with an axe.
and the dead
Exactly.
trees are harder because they
yeah.
vibrate. Yeah, we
Yeah.
cut a little one down up top.
Right. I have cut small stuff down with a hatchet. I haven't went full scale, like notch it with an axe and then take a crosscut saw and cut one down.
I have a bunch of 2-man saws too.
Yeah.
Pull itself the one way. It's huge. Leaving part of the tree not cut and letting it pull itself is just like, for me, I wasn't even thinking like that. I was like, cut the thing in half when I notch it, and then leave that as a trigger point or run. That
Those
was
are the ones that shoot backwards.
Yeah, 100%.
What
Are you thinking that saws should be licensed now? Listen to some of these kids.
do what?
Are you thinking saws should be licensed after you hear some of this stuff?
I mean, you gotta. No, I don't think so, but sometimes you wonder.
Maybe a training class or two.
That's
You don't have to have a training class to have a kid.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I have 6 of them. So.
He's Amish.
Shit, nowadays you learn how to do all this shit on YouTube. You don't have to worry about, trying to figure it out
Yeah,
from scratch, right?
but you don't know what you're watching half the time.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, there's a lot of good videos. I watch a lot of good videos and stuff. But it makes it easier to comprehend what they're talking about if you already know the basics.
Yeah.
To me. So I don't know if it makes sense. If you at least know the basics of what you're like, hey, I want to learn something more technical. Well, yes, watch Wrangler Star or watch somebody on there or whoever you prefer to watch that knows more about, that puts out that content.
You just told me his content was fake.
Whose?
Wrangler Star.
I didn't say it was fake.
You can't start the saw by dropping the thing. Come on. Just told me his stuff was fake. I learn shit every time I watch his videos.
All right, let's drop a couple more of these.
All right.
Were you white when that one fell?
Yes. See all that dirt in there?
Yeah.
On that? Yeah, it's hard on the chain. Just dull it up. Dull. It's already dead, so we don't need no help. We'll pull that bark off. You can use that bark for kindling or whatever.
So you doing that?
Either way. Now see how that one's got a lot more green wood in it and it stayed on the stump connected? That's what you want.
Yeah, I saw you come around the backside so that way we can stick to
Now y'all see what the wedge is there for now?
You're doing that on purpose to have it stay on the stump.
Exactly. Because you could be cutting a tree that has a big bow in it like this.
Just so you can get your grandpa up under it and pick it up.
Well, no, because when they hit the ground, you know you want to get away from the tree. But I have cut some big trees that have a bow in them, and they hit the ground. Even though I done the notch right and everything, it hit the ground, but the bow will make the butt kick way up in the air. Well, you want to keep as much momentum you got this way before to hit the ground. The longer it goes to hit the ground, that's more time you got to get away. Because I cut a poplar tree before. The butt went 20, not quite 20, but about 10 to 12 feet in the air up. Because it had a bow in it, but there was a heel right in front of it. So when it hit, it kicked the butt up. Probably 10 foot in the air. And you know, when you see something like that over your head, it's kind of scary. You want to be back over here. And that's the whole point of doing like this. That gives you an extra extra second or two to get away from the tree. And that, I know an extra second can mean a lot. You know, being stuck under the tree, a butt, or if it barber chairs. Has anybody ever seen a video of a tree barber chairing? Right, and you cut it, then it starts breaking way back up here. Then when it breaks, by the time it stops breaking, it's up. It could be 5 or 6 feet above your head when it finally breaks off. And it comes back this way and it slams down or over this way like that, and it's on top of you. Right. But I'm talking about when you're cutting one. I've had one barber chair when I was cutting it, and I done everything almost right. I left too much hinge wood on that particular tree, and it was leaning. It was leaning just a little bit like this. So when I did when I done my cuts, I left about that much, too much hinge wood, 1/4 inch hinge wood, and it made it hold too much, and it busted, barber chaired the tree on me. Luckily, I was able to get away from it, but it's scary, very scary. I don't want anybody to have to deal with anything like that.
We had a target on it. Michael,
Y'all were in the process of cutting it down.
They were cutting it.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna cut this off. Where's John?
John!
I know I cut this a little low. Now you probably still be able to get it out with the excavator either way.
Oh, we can get out with bulldozer.
Yeah, but I'm gonna cut it a little bit about right here, and then because I'm gonna show them the hinge, the wood, whatever, and stuff. Usually when you cut the tree, you always want to be uphill from it. Does that make more sense when you look at it off the stump like that? All right.
Yeah.
It allowed it. It allows it to come all the way over to here. Almost on the ground. So travel.
What about cutting with your blade under the tree? Everything I've seen you cut is...
Right.
How'd you keep your blade from getting pinched in there?
Right. Well, I will work on that. You got a...
I want to save those, so don't cut them. There's 1,000 feet of that in every one of these trees.
Really?
Yeah, all these
Oh my
trees
goodness.
have lights
Took
on.
my guy 1 day to wrap each of them.
All right, does anybody, hey, how many of y'all went up there here and would just start limbing this tree? What would you do?
That's what I do.
That's what I do. I just walk down and start cutting everything on one side.
All right, which side would you start on?
Well, because you told me to always be uphill, I'd probably start uphill. Normally I would have been right here.
Right where it would fall.
Right.
I do everything that's not touching the ground first.
I'd lift it up with the skid steer on forks.
Just move the
start
whole tree?
chopping it.
Yeah. But that'd probably be the safer way.
That changes the game.
Whatever Jake tells me to do, I would do the opposite because the pictures are going to be way better.
I got Liam right there, had a little bit of force going this way, so I just undercut it. To make just because it's not in a bind, it's pushing up on it like this. So dealing with like a lot of these limbs, like on the bottom, you're gonna have to undercut them or break cut them. And I'll show you what a break cut is. And some other stuff in a little while. But typically you want to go down here, you don't want to skip any limbs. Coming from this end, you want to get everything when you're going up through there, topping it, trimming it off, or whatever.
Why is that?
So you don't miss anything.
Okay.
Sometimes you get some that are just lost under there, you don't see them too. But I usually try to get everything I can.
I feel like if you cut enough here, it's going to roll that way and snap half of these off.
Good. If you get it, like I want it to stay up here right now, then I'll, it's on the hill, so I'm gonna have to get on the downside. But usually what I would do is come down through here and like right here, I go up there and get some of these limbs off, and then when I get ready to cut the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these chunks off of there.
Cool.
Or cut a little chunks of logs, which are gonna roll downhill. And everybody won't need to be in the way. But
They'll jump.
They'll move. You tell them what you want them to do.
I mean, I don't jump high.
right. All right, you see when I
Tipped it?
I tipped it right there. That when I caught it, whatever, but you always want to have this arm right here, because when you got it, and if you do have a kickback, and you usually want to be to this side of the saw, the left side of the saw. Because when you have a kickback and it kicks up like this, you're going to hit this right here. Hopefully. And usually when you're on the left-handed side of the saw, it's going to go right here. So when you have your hand right in the center and when it kicks up, your arm should be right here. So when it does kick up on you, hopefully it'll hit this chain brake. That's the idea anyway, for it to hit the chain brake, stop the chain. That's why I always, when I tell everybody to when they have their hands on the saw, try to keep your fingers wrapped around, not like this. So you don't want your hand open. A lot of people get on there, they be holding it like this and whatever because it's more comfortable. But you really want to have a good grip on it, not just like a death grip. But you want to just sit there and be able to hold it because you don't want it to come out of your hand. Because if you ain't got to hold it with this hand, it's going to go all over the place when it kicks up. And hopefully, if it does kick up, it'll hit this chain stop, your wrist, right here. It's very important to always have a full grip right here instead of have your thumb wrapped around and not have it up on top. Just give you a good full grip. So if you do potentially have a kickback or a little kickback or a major kickback, it won't come out of your hand. And then hopefully it'll hit stop, chain stop. If your saw, some of the electric saws, I don't even think they have a chain stop.
Yeah, they do. Well, the DeWalt one does, and it's
Milwaukee
super,
does.
Steel one does.
It's super close. So it's super close to your hand.
Right.
So even if you just, like if I take my hand off, it clicks on.
Right. The little steel is kind of like that.
Yeah, the Milwaukee's like that. I keep hearing people say that the electric saws will cut through chaps.
I don't know. I've never tested
I
it.
watched a video of him testing. The reason why I bought the steel 200 I bought is because he had it. He tested it on his steel chaps and they worked.
Okay.
But
cool. I went to buy the steel, but you got to buy the charger, the fast charger,
Yeah, you got to buy it all,
battery.
all
Like the saw
separate.
doesn't come with any of that shit.
It's all about the dollar bills.
Yeah, you're invested in that system. You're going to buy a bunch more steel then.
Yep. Hey, make sure your saw's on when you do that. That limb had a lot of pressure on. That's why I kept doing the trying to relieve it, and it still kicked hard.
so why wouldn't we clean up everything on one side and come back through and let that roll over when you're almost done instead of trying to almost cutting your leg off?
He's a professional.
Well, it's underneath.
We need this to roll that way and roll over Jeff.
No,
It's not gonna happen.
Right. But my winter, I'm gonna go up there and clear this off, and then I'm gonna come on this side and clear it off. But I'm just trying to show you the difference in how the limbs are going, which way they're going. Some of them are going pushed up, and some of them down. So when you got tension on the limb going pushed up this way, you want to kind of put some undercuts on it and just kind of relieve it like that. Now that one, it was in the ground like this, impacted. It went both ways. I put a leaf cut on the bottom. And I seen it was bending this way, then I done the top, then it bent back. Then I done another one, and it just kicked it, you know. So sometimes you don't even know which way. That's why I was doing the little small cut
tree
to
last
see
time we were filming Jeff.
if it's going one way or the other. Kind of relieve the pressure on the limb. Now usually when you cut it, it's probably gonna put a little pressure on it. You want to kind of, what I usually do is I'll cut one from the top a little bit, right here, then I'll go underneath and do a break cut. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's cut free. I went ahead and let it hold it right there because it's probably gonna roll. I don't want to roll down and hit y'all. But you see how it started closing up? That's when I come underneath and started cutting underneath, right underneath that, and then do a break cut. So usually when you start seeing the gap close, that's time to go. You need to come around and start.
If you don't stop, your saw is stuck, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I'll stick it. It don't matter.
that's why you don't want to do that. You know, just keep going, and you're gonna paint your saw. Now you gotta get a saw or a wedge.
Skid steer. Wedge. A skid steer.
Yeah. I know John's answer to everything is a skid steer, but who all owns a skid steer here?
So you could, that deep, you could use a wedge to get that out, right?
Yes. And he's got log ox.
I don't sell these. I saw one
I've
at
never
a
used
convention
this. Let me
once.
show you this. I've never used it.
But, you know, when you're bucking, I like, what I do normally is I'll buck several things, and then I'll finally find a spot, maybe 10 feet, and then I'll roll the entire log. Well, trying to do that by hand, either once roll back on you or keep rolling. So this is designed to be able to roll your log over. I'll figure out how to do it. Right, you can roll this log.
Slam it in there good.
There we go. Roll it, and if you wanted to cut it, you can even lift it up on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Thing like that.
You just sold 100 of those.
And you're cutting, you know, you're getting under it, but you cut up several of them, finally cut the one off, and you can roll it real easy. That's if you got that, and then if you wanted to pick one up, take off this apparatus here. It's called the Log Ox. So you can go to logox.com and find it. I don't sell them, like I said. I just thought they're cool. But you know, if you're wanting to carry logs a good distance, you know, you can just go like this. You're not having to.
So it's a fancy.
Not having to kill your back. If you do this all day long, it does wear you out a little bit.
What's the price on it? On that product?
Shit, I don't know. Is it a couple $100, $2.99 maybe? And it comes. You can get an additional thing. Goes on the end. It's also a picaroon. I don't know why my wife didn't buy that for. She bought this for me for Christmas. I was probably too cheap to buy it myself, but glad I bought it now because it's definitely been handy.
Yeah.
So, but you can also get a picaroon attachment. But
That's
I'd rather have a separate picaroon myself, just because
the picaroon is for the individual firewood itself, right?
Yeah. So picaroon is it's basically a handle with a peg on the end of it, so you could just grab a log, stick it in a log, and kind of do the same thing. You could drag stuff. It's on the back of bed of a truck. You don't have to jump in the truck. You can just picaroon it, pull it out, carry it that way. So that's kind of I don't have one. I've been meaning to get one. I just haven't got one, but it's a pretty good little useful tool as well. So
Right.
anyhow, logox.com. The inventor was at the show. He sold me on it, so it was pretty cool.
Take that up and let it get that pinch out.
What's that?
Yeah, can you get
Oh, the
that
pinch?
fine?
Let me see. I don't know. I didn't realize you was pinched.
I pinched it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Try to show me how it's fucking up. Oh, yeah,
No, you had to, like you did. So if it's something,
Now you got to do it again.
like, you can get it.
No, I got it, but now you got to do it with the wedge.
Yeah.
We don't have those.
I do it again. I'll do it again.
That way they can actually see it. See
We
how
got,
they get
we got
themselves
all
out.
these trees. We got to cut these up anyway. We'll get it.
hung up like this, you get a chainsaw. If you got a wedge and it's not just bad, you can just usually take a wedge and drive it in there and get your saw out. But this one, I don't know, I cut the tip off of it a little bit. Or you break it in half like that. That's so rotted. But anyway, the idea is to take. Right, you ain't gonna do it on Greenwood. See, this has been hit with a saw. That's why you always use plastic. You know, if you got a good wedge, shove it in there, drive it in, just enough, and just check your saw. Usually when you get to the point, it'll saw kind of just fall. That's time you've probably done it. Then you can get your saw out. Is anything, does it make sense to y'all? You got any more questions?
Yeah, using that longer bar, it seems, like you said, all the time bending down and with a small saw.
Right.
Makes it, because it's lighter, it seems like it'd be easier, but
Right, with the bigger, longer, yeah, with the little bitty saw, I'd be over here like this all day.
yeah.
You know.